hello everyone. Very excited to be here again, one more year at South Summit. Thank you, Javier, for coming.
Pleasure.
So we've been listening to this panel before of investors that are investing in deep tech. And now we have here an example of an entrepreneur, of the founder of EcoAlf, Javier, who has been fighting to make his business a success for many years.
Many.
And I think it's good also to hear this side of the story, no? So let's start with what is EcoAlf, how were you funded, your purpose initially, and so on.
Bueno, thank you, Isabella. EcoAlf, for those of you who don't know, is a small fashion company which was created in 2009 with the vision of stop using natural resources. So the mission was to create like a new generation of recycled clothes that if I don't tell you to recycle, you would never know. No? So everything I'm wearing used to be waste a few months ago. No? And that's how it created. No? At the beginning, it was funded by friends and family. So that's how we started. And then family office came in on board in 2017. And it's been a long journey, even though the idea started in 2009, we finally launched in 2013. It took us nearly 3 years to launch because when we went to the market, there were no cool recycled fabrics and the textures were bad and the percentage of recycling were very low. So we had to start developing those fabrics. So it took us quite a lot of time to launch.
Okay, so later we're going to go with the technology, which is important. You say you're a fashion company, but you're also a technology company. But I know there's a video that you wanted to share. So maybe we can bring that video in, please. Thanks. Super. Because there is no planet B.
Thank you.
So early on in when you started, the sustainability trend wasn't there, no? So I guess the market wasn't ready. Tough moments, and over these many years, you've seen how the trends, suddenly everything being sustainable was super hot, and everyone loved it. And now again, it's starting to decay, no? So, and we see this in the event that the word sustainability is not so much in the titles, which is fine. So how has this been, these ups and
Well,
downs?
Isabella, it's exactly as you say. At the beginning, in 2009, sustainability wasn't cool. It was like sort of hippie. Now people thought that, bad design, poor quality, etc. Recycling was even worse, because people thought when you tell them the story what you wanted to do, they thought you were going to get the old blanket of your grandmother to make a backpack, no? So they didn't know how much technology was behind converting this waste into polymer yarns and fabric, no? And then everything started climbing up, so people started talking about climate change, water, carbon emissions, oceans, circularity. And we, as you say, we see it over the last 2 years, probably it's declining, no? For many reasons, we believe that some people are even tired, some people don't really, when they go to the supermarket, they don't understand what's bio, what's organic, what's, no? At the end, for many reasons, it's gone down, and in the fashion industry also.
Yeah. So also thinking or taking the title of the session, Circular by Design, this concept of circularity. Okay. Have you seen circularity or being a circularity company something that has added value to you over time? I mean, initially you always need to start investing. Is it true that being circular is at the end being more efficient and has an impact in your bottom line? Has this happened to you, or?
Mira, if you want the truth.
I want truth.
Circularity at the end, first of all, it starts by eco-designing. That's the first thing. And then it has to be a collective effort, no? I remember last year, no, there were like 3 huge companies, no, making an ad saying, give me back your garments, we will recycle them, no? And Greenpeace put 3 trackers on those 3 items, and the 3 items finished in a beach in Ghana in less than 1 month. So that's why our campaign against Black Friday, we did it in Ghana this year, no? And it's in between 16 to 20 million garments are arriving there every week from Europe. So the problem is that, first of all, for circularity, you have to be monomaterial, which is something we didn't know until 2016, 2017. 2016, only 5% of our collection was monomaterial. Monomaterial means you're not mixing cotton with nylon or wool with polyester or whatever. And then we said this, and then we started changing. Right now, the collection we presented last week is 81% monomaterial. But at the end, it's useless, because EcoAlf is very small. So when our garments get into a landfill, they're going to be mixed up with 99.9 other garments, which are not monomaterial. So at the end, those garments will not be circular, because we would need to have our own recycling facilities. That's the big problem, that everybody goes together, so then we can recycle, or circularity is very complicated.
Yeah, but there is I know I'm not doing the questions that I sent to you, but we can talk. but there is some regulatory pressure to do that. So is there like a technological gap? Is there a lack of coordination amongst
Well, there's a legislation coming in, which we've seen a draft. We are not very happy with the draft. But at the end, it's basically, you're going to need to pay for every garment you put in the market. But we insist that you shouldn't pay the same if your garment is circular and is monomaterial than if it's not. If it's using a recycled cotton, which saves billions of liters of water, or using organic or virgin, which doesn't. So that's a big concern. But at the end of the day, it's to be, right now what happens with all these garments arriving into landfill is that you do a chemical recycling, and with that you get a fiber which is good for construction.
Okay.
For us, that's not recycling. For us, recycling has more to do with upcycling. I get an old plastic bottle, I make a down jacket, or I get an old fishing net and I make a swimmer, or I get a t-shirt and I make another t-shirt. But the fact of getting a down jacket and convert it into a fiber for construction, for us that it is downcycling. That's not circular.
Okay.
And that's our biggest debate with them. What do you call circular? Because for us, that's not circular. For us, circular is from t-shirt to t-shirt, from bag to bag, from bottle to bottle. That's what we believe is circular.
Because others would argue that here what we are trying is to avoid those carbon molecules to being exposed into the environment, no? And that's why you're kind of trapping the carbon into the construction material.
See, but at the end, what is a pity is that it's not it cannot be reused again, no, in the way it should.
Yeah.
So it's not so useful as it could be if everybody, especially if the big guys, which have those are the ones who can change the industry. EcoAlf cannot change anything.
Yeah.
We're too small. EcoAlf can show that it's possible, but it's the big companies who have the quantity, the resources to really make that impact.
Yeah, that is true. So I wanted to talk about two things. One of them is technology, the technology that is used, and the other is AI, and how this is helping you. First, sourcing, production, sales, kind of everything. Have you noticed any difference?
Well, technology for us is very important. So when we started in 2009, how that technology has improved, it's amazing. No? When you see the fabrics we were making and the fabrics that will come next year, they have nothing to do. No? When we started taking the waste from the bottom of the ocean, we were only able to put 10% recycled content from the ocean and 90% was from land. This last production we're doing is going to be 100% from the ocean. And that's thanks to the technology. So technology is very much linked with everything we do.
And the availability of the materials. Technology also helps you identify, map, and so on, the material.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing is AI, no? That we're only using it for demand planning, for stocks, that's what we're using it so far.
Okay, because you had a new project on AI, no?
Well, no, and we, exactly.
Yes,
exactly,
I know.
Exactly.
so I wanted to bring
exactly.
it. So also Javier and I were talking recently about how over the years this like macro trend that has and the regulatory pressure that has happened to all of the companies and how that ended up basically on reporting standards and a lot of reporting pressure and to many of the companies, no? And how there were two ways to approach this new demand of the regulators. And one of them is just doing it, and the other is using this data as a source of information to build sustainable strategies and so on. No? So I had a chance actually to look at your a report that you've recently presented. And I wanted to share with you if this experience, like understanding properly what these reporting standards could bring to you and the value of it, if you could share with me if this is right and what have you learned.
Well, I think absolutely. We've learned from everything we do with this kind of audits. No? With B Corp, which I don't know if you know, but it's like a certificate, no, which it's very global, no, so it touches many different points. The first time we did it in 2018, it's like looking at yourself in a mirror. So in terms of sustainability, we were doing apparently great, but socially, we weren't doing so great. So we were more focused on sustainability, the fabrics, the fibers. So we started working much more on the other part, on the social part. And in 2021, we were reevaluated, and that's where we become part of the 5% best B Corps in the world. No? And now this 2025, we've been reevaluated again, we got 22 points more. So it's like a mirror, you see yourself, and you say, okay, I need to improve here, here, and here. No? And with the other report we just finished, so we're even still analyzing, this is the double accountability, which was designed by Mr. Cohen in Harvard a few years ago. and he was saying, okay, this is the traditional P&L of a company, and this is the new P&L of impact of that company. And they asked us if we were open to do it complete and be brave enough to present the results without, and we did, and they were presented yesterday, and of course you learn a lot. The results were quite good, so we're happy. But also you see that at the end, with all these new things, you are part of the process for them also to learn. So there's things which we thought were going to be very well appreciated, and they were not even considered, no? So I think all these things are quite new.
Yeah.
So you have to go with them, and I think we both learn.
Yeah, so that you're saying, basically, that the standards are made for the big companies and for the big sectors and so on, and if you are kind of unique as your company is, and also because of the size and so on, you don't fit into like a fixed standard, no? This happens also, it's not the same, but for us as a university, many times when you're doing reporting and so on, they say, yeah, but, and they bring you KPIs that are really not related to your activity.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, we need new ways of defining what we do. So I wanted to ask something that concerns me a lot, because I understand that we're not yet there in the full circularity and true circularity of the design industry, of the textile industry. What is missing here? What type of technologies? Because this is also a market opportunity, I guess, for many. You say that the regulations are coming, so the market is created by default just because of this. So what would be the types of technologies that would need to exist for this full upcycling to happen?
Well, no, obviously, technologies like being able to recycle different types of yarns and getting a good new yarn. That doesn't exist right now, no? But I think before technology comes the will to do it. Mm-hmm. So we can take many, many years to develop that technology, or we can decide, okay, let's design without mixing materials, no? So we just launched 1 month ago the denim collection, yeah, which is taking us over 2 years to develop, and we don't have elastan in the denim. Mm-hmm. We know we're going to lose a lot of clients, because a lot of clients like elastic denim, no? But we go back to the old Levi's, where you have to wash it 20 times, and then it's very soft. Well, no, that's what it is. You have to say, okay, I want my thing to be circular, the technology is still not there, but I can take the decision not to put that material. It's up to us, no? And that's where I think that legislation is not in that part, which is in the beginning, it's in the end part. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to start from the beginning, and then perhaps develop the technology, but already with a clear goal, no?
Yeah, so they're not focusing on the right part.
So I don't believe creating a technology to keep on doing things bad.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. So I think you have to try to do the correct thing, and then develop the technology which goes along with that, but not the other way around. I keep on doing things bad, and thanks to the technology, it seems like that nothing happens.
Yeah. Huh? So I think also I like very much the answer Javier is giving me, because you don't know this, but I analyzed EcoAlf in 2010 when I was working for some investors.
2010?
Yes, so okay. A long time ago. And we didn't do anything because you went out of the process. It wasn't us. But the thing is, always, people that I know that have invested in your company, and when I talk to you, you give answers that are not necessarily the answers that investors want to hear, no?
No. Not many times.
Yeah, yeah, and you're faithful to yourself and your values and your purpose from the very beginning. So now you're launching this denim jeans, no matter who wants to buy them, because you think it's the right thing to do.
So at the end, I think I've been very lucky, with the investors, because they have respected the purpose of the company from the beginning, and that's if you don't have, I always say that it has been much easier for me than probably for a CEO of a company which is huge and it already has its direction. To change that direction is very complicated, no? Especially if you're measured with short-term objectives, then you probably get fired. No? So it's easier for the new companies that we start to have a clear purpose and then maintain that way. No? I think it's easier. Yeah, but along the way, we've had to make a lot of decisions which were definitely bad for the P&L, and we know that, no?
Yeah, but you believe that that's the right way to go.
And I think that's what makes us, or we tend to think that's what makes us different, no? And if you lose that, then you're just another brand.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that. And I guess that the result is now that EcoAlf is a successful company, and that's thank you to your vision. So, well, thanks very much, and thanks to everyone.
Thank you.